Welcome back to Money Talks. In studio with me is corporate retirement planner Jeff Fine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, it seems like I've been hearing a lot lately about retirement planning. Now, why is this?
There's been a lot of changes, and also it's just really important. As you talked about in the prior segment with Mike, there's really been a focus. No one had paid attention to this for the years between 1980 until about the year 2000. The market went straight up. People had pension funds. There weren't these questions about Social Security. And with the change in the market and like so many other things, a renewed focus on details that we didn't have, 10, 20 years ago, people now realize that substantial changes can be made and they can have a big impact on people if they're being paid attention to.
Yeah, and now 401k plans, I know for me, and I'm sure many of our viewers out there, it almost seems like a foreign language when you start talking 401ks. And could you describe some of the things that people should be paying attention to?
I can, and this is something else that came up earlier in one of the earlier segments. There's no magic bullet, and certainly there's no crystal ball, and that's something that people really need to understand. But what ends up happening is it's really coming up with a process, and in order to understand the process of what you're trying to accomplish. If the market's up, if the market's down, week to week, month to month, it may not really matter as long as what you're trying to do is represented. And I always say to people, it's almost like a travel agent. You're at a point where you are right now, and there's a point where you want to get to. And some people like to fly, and some people like to drive, and some people like to take boats. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's really just a matter of what people are trying to accomplish. And I think that's where the foreign language comes in. And we spend most of our time truly showing people that it's really not that much of a foreign language if we at least pay a little bit of attention to it.
Mm-hmm. And the stock market has been doing extremely well, like you said. So how does that impact what 401k participants are doing?
Well, it certainly has 401k participants excited. They're looking at their statements for the first time in a long time, and they're excited, and we get positive phone calls and an enthusiasm that hasn't been there. And that's fun. That's a good thing. But, someone once said that the total return of the market is a very difficult thing to peg, both in size and in timeline. So while it does have people excited, the reality is it really shouldn't take people off of what they're doing as long as they have a plan. And we use an analogy all the time in this space, and that is Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers is one of those things, and I'm assuming most of our viewing audience has heard of it before and what it can do, that when people stick to Weight Watchers, they usually tend to lose weight. They then go off of Weight Watchers and then tend to gain the weight back. And what we attempt to design, and I think do a real nice job with, is coming up with that plan for an individual. So whether there's a holiday party or it's the summer or it's the winter, they have a plan that they can use and that they can work with. So again, it's exciting and it's fun when the market's doing what it's doing. But if it's set up properly, it really shouldn't change anything in the short term.
I love that analogy. And so right now, are you getting a lot of people that want to try to change their 401ks or chase the trend?
We do. We certainly do. It has accounted for a lot of phone calls. And again, it's nice to hear people excited after what has been such a generic, non-exciting run. But what we also do, and it's funny, Weight Watchers is the one analogy. The other one we always use is that of a personal trainer. And we truly try to provide investment discipline on a regular basis. So just like the person that maybe feels better in the gym than they did 2 days before, they shouldn't start using double the weight. Otherwise, the next day is going to be quite punishing. We're trying to do the same thing and truly keep people on track. But as I said before, I'm not going to lie, it's nice to hear the excitement that's out there.
Yes, and I know you were at a conference last week, correct?
I was in Florida as well, enjoying the nice weather, but happy to be back. And it was a great conference, it really was. Had the opportunity to speak to approximately 50 financial professionals as it relates to the investment side of the world, and talk to them about the type of things we discuss here, utilizing low fees, putting a very, very intense focus on education and giving people service and support. And this is financial services professionals. They can't believe how little is paid attention in that space. And it really is, Mike mentioned Social Security before. Social Security, retirement plans, pensions before that probably affect more people than anything else in the financial or investment realm, yet nobody has been paying attention to it. And we even saw it with the financial advisors that are out there. I was answering questions literally until I left to go back to the airport to come home. It's something that's not being paid attention to. We're out there, others are out there trying to do it because we do realize what a big impact it has.
Well, thank you. Do you have any just real quick tips for anyone out there with a 401k plan?
I will. As far as the Department of Labor, we've talked about this before. It's something that they are paying attention to owners, that the ways they haven't before. So if you're a business owner, please know you can make a difference for your employees. You can protect your business. You can protect your families. And we would love to discuss it with you and show you how all that can be accomplished in a very painless way.
Well, thank you, Jeff. If you'd like more information, you can reach Jeff by calling the Financial Guys at 633-1515. That's 633-1515.